ओम श्री तपोवन परम गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री चिन्मय सद्गुरवे नमः। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम समस्त जन कल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्म विद्वरम्। ओम शांताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभांगं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिभिर्ध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथम्। हरि ओम। Salutations to Pujya Swami Advayananji and to everyone present here. So first of all, wish you all a very Shubh Holaka Utsav or Holi Utsav. How many of you are new to Chinmay Mission? Anybody? Lift your hands. Okay, wonderful. So nice to have all of you here. This is a most beautiful festival and this is the last festival in the Hindu calendar year. Hindu calendar year begins with which month? Swamiji, begins with January. No, Hindu calendar begins from Chaitra. Excellent. And Hindu calendar ends with Phalgun. So, Holaka or Holi festival is celebrated on Phalgun Purnima. Today it will start from 10 a.m. up to tomorrow 12:50 or I think 2:50 a.m. Tomorrow is 2:50 p.m. Not a.m. It is Phalgun Purnima. So this is the last festival in this. Now what is the meaning of? See, hu means, in Sanskrit the word hu means to offer. Ahuti word, ahuti. Hu means to offer. Hutam we say. So from that root comes this word Holaka. And earlier the festival was called Holaka. Some places Holaka. It is a very, very ancient festival. Don't think it has come into being now some few years back. People have started playing with colors. It is indicated in our Yajurveda also. It is indicated in the Parishishta of Atharva Veda also. The word Holaka itself is there. And it is connected and many other, like in Ayurveda, the Charak Samhita mentions Holaka. So what is the meaning of Holaka? Holaka means that which receives oblations, into which we offer ahutis. So generally a bonfire is created in the evenings, in the night, and people offer various grains and samagris, etc. in that, and they worship. Sometimes they worship Supreme Lord, sometimes they worship even moon. One place in Kathakagriya Sutra it is said Holaka is a ritual where the women pray for the well-being of the whole family to moon. Raka, Holake is a sutra which comes in that. So Raka is moon. So sometimes it is associated with moon also. Sometimes it is associated with Bhagwan Vishnu. And nowadays we have all these special things, sauna, steam. You think all that is modern, right? One meaning of Holaka is this. In Charak Samhita, in Ayurveda, there are 7 different types of steams that one takes for the health, for detoxification. One of them is Holaka. It is called Holaka only. And people have special trees, barks, neem and this palash. These trees, their barks are used and fire is lit. And they cover themselves in a room, enclose themselves in a room, and they go through the heat of that, and they sweat through that, and it detoxifies. So lots of different references are there. There are Puranic references also of Holaka. Most famous one is where we know that Holika was burnt on that day. The beautiful legend of Bhagwan Hiranyakashipu, Bhagwan Narsimha and Hiranyakashipu that we will see. On this day, Shivji also is supposed to have burnt Kamdev and you know the whole story is there that we will come to it sometime. But how lust is transformed into love. This is a festival for that. How we worship the divine and celebrate the victory of faith over materialism. Holi is a celebration of that. It is also a beginning of the summer months. So the last month ends now, and in the earlier days when people were following, even some of them follow now, our calendars are two types of calendars. Do you know? Purnimanta and Amavasyanta. Where the calendar ends on the Purnima, that is called Purnimanta. So for them, today is the last day of their calendar. And Chaitra will start for them from tomorrow. For those who follow Amavasyanta, majority today we follow Amavasyanta. So for us, it will be after another 15 days, then the Chaitra month will begin. So one celebrates also, like how we celebrate, 31st December, New Year. What are you doing on 31st December night? And countdown, 10, 9, 8, all that, and yay, New Year. In our culture, we celebrate by remembering Bhagwan, celebrate through Holi. And what is the best way, what is the most famous way in which we celebrate Holi? By Ranga. Yes, very good. So we play with colors. Nowadays people say colors are toxic and we should not have this, and eco-friendly colors and all that. But do you know our culture has been the most eco-friendly culture? How did people play with colors earlier? Palash flower, Kimshuka flower, rose petals, so many flowers. From those, by powdering them, processing them, the colors are made. And some of them, they will soak these flowers in the water also and mix them, grind them, and paste is made. Then that is put in water, and colorful water. With that, one place, and it is so good for the skin. And summer is going to come up. One prepares, one uses haldi and all that also to play. So today we are going to have some colors we have made today in that eco-friendly way. We also have haldi, we have chandan, we have bhasma. We have colors made with flowers. And I will tell you one very simple way. Next year you also can make colors like that. Take arrowroot powder, take flower petals, put them in the mixie, and it will become so simple, very eco-friendly, good for the skin. You have to strain it after that. You will see some colors today. So we celebrate by coloring each other, enjoy. Our culture is a very colorful culture. So this is about Holi, how we celebrate. Now we will come to the specific legend. So in Bhagavatam, this prasang comes of various avatars of Bhagwan are there. In that, tell me the name of the avatar of Bhagwan who destroyed this demon called Hiranyaksha. Who destroyed Hiranyaksha? Hiranyaksha was destroyed by Narasimha. Who destroyed Hiranyaksha? Varaha avatar. Bhagwan took Varaha avatar. One round of applause to him and him, both of them. Bhagwan destroyed, he killed this Hiranyaksha. And who was the brother of Hiranyaksha? Hiranyakashipu. Now we have our sevikas here. Quickly. As I am telling the stories, they will show you. So, wait, just take out Hiranyakashipu first. So this Hiranyakashipu was there, who was the brother of Hiranyaksha. He got very angry that this Varaha has killed my brother. So what did he say? Who is that Varaha avatar? Who took Varaha avatar? Bhagavan Vishnu himself, Mahavishnu, he took the Varaha avatar. And so he said this Vishnu has lot of power. From where is he getting all his power? So there are temples of Bhagavan Vishnu. Go and destroy these temples. There are yajnas that rishis are doing. Go and spoil the yajnas. Brahmanas are chanting Vedas. Go and kill the Brahmanas. Cow is being worshipped by them. Go and kill that cow. Don't allow anybody to take Vishnu's name. And everybody should chant only my name. And what is his name? Hiranyakashipu. So what should they say? Om Hiranyaya Namaha, Hiranyaya Namaha, Hiranyaya Namaha. Means what? Goldaya Namaha, Goldaya Namaha, Goldaya Namaha. He is teaching that to everybody. Destroy temples, destroy people who are following spirituality and don't allow them to practice spirituality. These are the places from which Vishnu is getting a lot of power. So don't allow him. We will destroy this Vishnu. So he told his people and his people started destroying many things. And then what did he do? He came to his home where his Hiranyaksha is dead. He is lying there. People are grieving in his family. You know what he does? He goes and tells them that everything is perishable. What is born has to die. Body is perishable. Atma is imperishable. We should know that very clearly. So don't grieve for them. Just imagine that Hiranyakashipu, he knows that there is an Atma. Don't think that Asura means somebody. So when we think of Asura, what comes into our mind? Black person, fat, horns, plump, having some weird teeth. All that comes into our mind. But actually Asura does not mean that. What is the meaning of Asura? That is the meaning, demon. But Asu means prana, energy. And one who uses the energy only for sense enjoyment. And who does not live the higher values of life, for whom his own sorrows are maximum and he doesn't bother about other people's sorrow, and who brings more sorrow to other people. If you bring sorrow to other people, then who are you? Pakka. If you pinch your sibling, who are you? Asura. You fight with them and beat them, who are you? Asura. You trouble your parents and you don't do the work they are doing, then who are you? Now you decide whether you want to be Sura or Asura. And don't tell other people, hey, you are Asura, you are Asura. You don't be that, okay? So this Hiranyakashipu, he had all knowledge, but he is not applying. And he is telling people, don't grieve. Then he thought, I must kill this Vishnu. So he went to do tapasya. And Asuras also do tapasya. And they get boons from Bhagavan. So Hiranyakashipu did a very special type of tapasya. You know what is that tapasya he did? Chalo, we will do. He pleased Brahmaji. So what is the tapasya that he did? Come on, stand up. Everybody. So we have to do that tapasya that he did, okay? So he stood on a mountain and with one leg he folded and he placed on his one thigh like this. You have to stand on one leg now. Then he lifted the hand up like this. Your hands must be close to your ears. Stand straight. Okay. Then, see, with the eyes open, it is still easy to balance. If you close the eyes, very difficult. He lifted his head above, turned his eye up and closed. And he was chanting what? You have to chant after me, okay? Om Brahmane Namaha. 11 times. Remember Brahmaji. You are not Hiranyakashipu. You are only doing a tapasya like him, okay? So you remember, you are a sadhak, you are invoking Brahmaji today. Om Brahmane Namaha. Om Brahmane Namaha. Om Brahmane Namaha. Together. Om Brahmane Namaha. 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 Bas, now Brahmaji is pleased, बैठ जाओ. 11 times you did, that's enough. Brahmaji was pleased and Brahmaji manifested in front of Hiranyakashipu. So then what happened? He asked for a boon. What is the boon that he wanted? He wanted to be immortal. Immortal means I don't want to die with the body. He knows the body is perishable. He told that to his people. But he wants his body to be immortal. Why? So that we can eat, drink, enjoy, dance, party every day. You know the meaning of Hiranyakashipu? Hiranya means gold. Kashipu means the bed. One who sleeps on the bed of gold. Nowadays in Middle East you have toilets made up of gold also. They have so much money that they have a toilet made of gold. Full. Means who revels only in material pleasures. He is Hiranyakashipu. So he asked for the body to be immortal. Brahmaji said, that is not possible. One who is born has to die. So he thought of a very unique boon. He said, you bless me in such a way. So he said, no creation of yours should kill me. In one boon he is asking so much, you see. He says, no creation of yours must kill me. I should not die in the morning or in the night, neither inside nor outside, not up, not down, not by man or by animal, not by hand or by weapon. 6 things he asked. 6 in one boon. Think about it. 6 in one. And what did Brahmaji say? Tathastu. Now Hiranyakashipu, what did he think? I become immortal. Nobody can kill me. And so he started terrorizing people more. Meanwhile, what happened, when he was doing tapasya, Indra Devata took opportunity and he attacked the Asuras. He actually wanted to take away the wife of Hiranyakashipu. His wife's name is Kayadhu. So he wanted to take away Kayadhu. She was pregnant. He wanted to kill that child also. That, the lineage of Hiranyakashipu should not move ahead. But luckily that time Naradji came and said, the child in her womb is a very great devotee of Bhagavan. So he cannot be killed. I will take the child. So Naradji is a great missionary. We should remember Narad means what? One who brings bliss to everybody. Naram dadati Narada. Don't think Naradji means somebody who is a very cunning fellow who makes people fight. Naradji is the greatest missionary. Do you know he transformed Ratnakar Daku into Valmiki? Fearlessly he went in front of Ratnakar Daku. He is the one who inspired Prahladji in the womb. He is the one who told Vedavyasji to write Srimad Bhagavatam to experience fulfillment. He is the one who gave knowledge to the Sanat Kumars. Like that, he is a very great missionary. And his mission in life is what? He tells Bhakti Mata in Bhagavatam, he says, Tasmin stvam sthapayishyami gehe gehe jane jane. I will establish you, O Bhakti Mata, in every house, in every heart. He is that great missionary. So never think Naradji is a cunning person who makes people fight. Naradji is the one who gives them bliss. So that Naradji took Kayadhu and started teaching her about Bhagavan, about the Leelas of Bhagavan. And Prahladji from the womb, he got his education. That is called prenatal education. From the womb. Abhimanyu, Prahlad, Ashtavakra, these are all great examples of that. So now Hiranyakashipu, he came back very powerful, and Kayadu also has come back, and the child is there. So Prahlad is the child. So Kayadu, Hiranyakashipu had 4 children. In that, Prahlad was the youngest and the best. What is the meaning of Prahlad? Prahlad means one who always is happy, blissful. Ahlada means enjoy, happiness. And Prakarshena Ahlada Yasya. One who is always happy and one who makes others also very happy. If you make others sorrowful, who you are? Asura. If you make others happy, who you are? Prahlad. And in the most difficult situation also, who never craves, complains, but who is peaceful, balanced, equanimous, happy, that person is called Prahlad. Suppose you want kheer, you don't get kheer, then you become upset. Oh, I didn't get kheer, mummy, why did you not make? Then are you Prahlad? If you say, if kheer is there, wow. If kheer is not there, wow. Then you are Prahlad. You are happy. If you get your friend to play with, you say, wow. If your friend doesn't play with you, wow. Then you are Prahlad. Any situation, we should be happy. Our nature is that. So that Prahlad was like that. And I'm going to tell you some good qualities of Prahlad which are mentioned. So beautiful is there in our Bhagavatam. So it says here that Brahmanya, he respected wise people, Brahmanas. Sheela Sampannaha, he had highest qualities, good values and virtues. Satya Sandha, he always spoke the truth, does not lie at all. Jitendriya, he has control over his senses. Atmavat Sarva Bhutanam, Eka Priya Suhrittamaha, he always saw everybody as himself and he did not ill-treat anybody. He was loved by all. He would always be very humble in front of the elders and respected people. He is ready to serve them. Bhratrivat Sadrishe Snigdhaha, he had brotherly love towards his peers. And Guru Ishwara Bhavana, he has the feeling of my Guru is Bhagwan himself. And he has, Naradji himself is saying, see, Naradji is a great devotee of Bhagwan. He is praising Prahlad. He says, in knowledge, in beauty, in wealth, Prahlad was above and beyond everybody. So Prahlad was very handsome also. Young boy, small boy, very handsome, very inspiring, but he has no ego at all and very humble. And so he had lot of bhakti for Bhagwan. He would go on chanting the name of Bhagwan. So we will chant Bhagwan Vishnu's name for some time, okay? How Prahlad ji used to chant Bhagwan's name, we will chant. Om Namo Narayanaya. 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 Namo Narayanaaya. सर्वत्र गोविंद नाम संकीर्तनम. So he used to sing Narayana, Govinda, Hari, Mukunda, all these beautiful names of Bhagavan he used to sing. And he was sent to the Gurukul to learn. And his teachers are Shanda and Amarka. See, Asuras also, they were educated, okay? Don't think somebody who is an Asura does not know anything. Asura also learns. So he went, Shanda and Amarka are his teachers. And when they went there, what they teach in the Gurukul there, Asura Gurukul, they teach how to earn money, how to hoard money, how to loot people and take their money, how to kill, how to destroy, how to use weapons, all that, how to revel, how to enjoy, how to indulge. They don't teach anything about God, religion, spiritual practice. Sounds familiar to you? Asura Gurukul? So, this Prahladji was sent there. He is sitting in the class, he is listening, but he is not absorbing all that because his mind revels in Bhagavan and he is thinking of Bhagavan. So one day what happened? When he went to the Gurukul and he was studying there, one time vacation, he came back. So his father asked him that, what is the best thing that has happened in your life? Will you tell me? Small boy, he made him sit on his lap and he says, Beta, tell me, what is the best thing in your life? And you know what he tells his father? Such a beautiful thing. He says that, Father, I think we all live with the body. As the body, we live in our home, we become very attached to so many things and we keep dragging ourselves lower and lower and we bring about our downfall. The best thing to do in life is just leave home and take refuge of Hari. And it would be best if we don't involve in the hell of samsara. He is telling this to Hiranyakashipu, his father, for whom Hari or Vishnu Bhagwan is his enemy. And the father said, who is teaching you all this? Call your teachers. And the Shanda and Amarka come very scared. Oh, Hari did not teach all this. We don't know from where he is learning all this. And Hiranyakashipu shouted at them. He said, don't teach him all this and ensure that he learns about wealth and about worshipping me only and he should not do any spiritual practice. Okay, we will do that. And he went. Next year, 1 year happened. Again, Prahlad came back for vacation. Now he asked him, what are you learning? Tell me, what did they teach you? And Prahladji said beautifully, you repeat after me, okay, what he said. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnoho Smaranam Padasevanam Arjanam Bandhanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. He says these are 9 ways to worship Hari. Last time he told he should take refuge of Hari. Now he says how to take refuge, 9 ways. What he left that he continues now. He says, oh Father, you listen to the glory of Bhagavan. Shravanam, Kirtanam, you sing his glory. Then Smaranam, you remember only him. Then Padasevanam, you worship his feet. Then Archanam, you do Archana, chant his names, worship the Lord. Vandanam, you sing his praises. Dasyam, be a servant of Hari. Be a friend of Hari, Sakhyam, and surrender to Hari alone. Imagine, Hiranyakashipu, who is terrorizing people, who is killing people. In his lap, this devotee is sitting and is telling him what? 9 ways to worship Hari. See, a devotee is one who is fearless. Why? Because Shraddha is there, Bhagavan is there. And this Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry. He says, you deserve to be killed. It is his own son, but he says, you deserve to be killed. So he tells his people, go take him to the mountaintop and throw him. They try to do that. They try to kill him, throw him from the mountaintop, but he does not have any fear. They take him to the mountaintop and they throw him. And what is he saying? Narayan, 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 Narayan. Who is standing below? Narayan Bhagavan catches him. Free fall. He enjoyed. Then they took him and put him in the pit which has lots of snakes. What does he do? Narayan, 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 Narayan. Snakes bite him but nothing happens to him. Then they think that maybe this small little poison of the snakes is not enough. They give him one cup of poison full, make him drink. What does he see? Narayan, Narayan. That poison becomes Amrit like that. Then they tell Holika to come. You know, there's special boon this Holika has, Hiranyakashipu's sister. That Holika has boon that fire will not burn her. So they make Prahlad sit with her in her lap and they burn the fire. And what is Prahlad is doing? Narayan, 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 Narayan. So what happened suddenly? Fire started burning Holika. Holika is saying, oh my God, this is burning me and I can't bear it. And in a few seconds, the Holika died. We celebrate that victory of faith over materialism, over atheism, over this lower values of life. We celebrate that today. We celebrate fearlessness. And so this Holika was burnt completely and Prahladji, not even one little hair of it is burnt. That is the glory. So now Hiranyakashipu was seeing all this. He got very upset. He said, he is not dying no matter what we do. They try to kill him with the weapons and all that. He doesn't die. Finally he called the two gurus. And you know what happened? The guru also tried. These two gurus, Chanda and Amarka, they created one Shakti. Meaning one demon, one evil spirit, not demon, evil spirit. And they sent that Shakti behind Prahladji. What is Prahladji doing? Narayan, Narayan. Suddenly what happened? The Chakra of Bhagavan is there, Sudarshan Chakra. That Chakra comes and destroys that Shakti, and when the Chakra goes and beheads both the gurus of Prahladji. Both the gurus are dead. Who are the gurus? Chanda and Amarka. Chanda and Amarka. They both die. And you know, Prahladji feels so sad. My gurus are dead. So he prays to Bhagavan saying, Bhagavan, if I have not had one negative thought about my gurus, please bring them to life. And then what happens? They both come back to life. See how he has no hatred against his gurus at all. And those gurus, they go, Hiranyakashipu tells, go, take him away from my sight. I don't want to see him also. And ensure that you teach him properly what I have told you. They have got back their life. They are so grateful. They go back. And now all this news has spread. So all the children in the Asura's children in that Gurukul, they all come to Prahladji and said, we heard about so much happened to you and the glory of devotion. How did you do this? So Prahladji conducted the first Balvihar class. He got all of them and he started telling them that see the glory of Bhagavan Vishnu, it is his power, his glory, and he taught them. So they asked him, and how did you learn all this? He said, I learned this in my womb. Naradji was there, he already taught me all this. See, Prahladji's life, how he was living, that itself is the biggest example of the power of spiritual knowledge. Did he go around telling people? that you do this, you should worship, you should not tell lies, you should. He did not go around telling people. He lived the higher way of life. And then automatically people are inspired by him, looking at his life. So if you and I live like that, if we anchor in spiritual values, automatically what happens? It will spread to people around us. A flower, if it blooms, will it spread fragrance or not? Does a flower have to go and advertise, hey, I am rose, I have good smell, come to me? No, no advertisement required. Prahlad ji taught, and all the children in the Gurukula are very happy. And now what happened? They also are chanting Narayan, Narayan, Narayan. So now Hiranyakashipu got worried because the Praja is now rebelling. They are telling don't chant, and these people are chanting. So he said, now I have to get him. I only have to kill him. See that? That is called Asura. Who has no compassion in his heart. No, that is the Asura. Santa is one who has lot of compassion. Asura is one who has no compassion. So he caught him and he said, from where are you getting so much of power and strength? And you know Prahlad ji, what he replied? He said, oh Father, are there two sources of power? The same Lord who created the whole universe, who gives me the strength, is the Lord who is empowering you also to do all this. You are also having the power from that same Lord. He is present everywhere. He is the Lord of the universe. And so, Prahlad, when he said that, he said, seek refuge of that Lord. You think this is your power. This is not at all your power. This is the power of Bhagavan. So, Hiranyakashipu got very angry. He said, what are you saying? Your Bhagavan is so powerful. He is everywhere. He said, yes, he is everywhere. Is he there in this pillar? And Prahlad ji does not blink an eye. He said, yes, he is in the pillar also. So he said, I will go and destroy him. He took his sword and he charged at the pillar and he hit the pillar. And what happened from that pillar? Suddenly there was a huge sound, mighty deafening sound, and suddenly one gigantic creature comes out of that, which has never been seen before. Half lion and half man. Narasimha, bolo Narasimha Bhagwan ki. That Narasimha Bhagwan manifests from that pillar and he keeps growing. That mahal of Hiranyakashipu also broke, the ceiling broke, and Bhagwan keeps on growing in size. Huge he became. And Hiranyakashipu is just watching. He's like one lily put in front of the Bhagwan. And Bhagwan is angry. He is not coming Saumya Roop. He is very angry. He is roaring. And he has his claws. And he has to fight this Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu has one little sword which he is trying to fight. See that? Bhagwan is so huge. And this Hiranyakashipu is trying to fight with Bhagwan. Now Bhagwan tries to catch him. And he catches him in his hand and Hiranyakashipu jumps out of it and he is running here and there. And again he tries to attack Bhagwan. So he is playing. Bhagwan is also playing with him. And these Devatas and Asuras and all of them are seeing. Devatas are worried. This Hiranyakashipu, Bhagwan is not able to kill him and he is escaping every time. Now what will happen? But what was Bhagwan doing? He is waiting for the right time. Now is the time. What is the time? It is dusk. It is neither evening neither day nor night. Dusk time. He caught him now. Took him to the doorway. And he sat down there. And Hiranyakashipu is where? On his lap. So he is neither up nor down. Neither inside nor outside. Neither day nor night. And he is not a human, not a creation of Brahmaji. Bhagwan is Swayambhu. And he does not have weapons. So neither with hands nor weapons. So what did Bhagwan do? With his nails. Long nails he had. What did he do? At the right time, he put his nails in the stomach of Hiranyakashipu and what did he do? Tear it. And what happened? Hiranyakashipu But Bhagavan was very angry. After killing Hiranyakashipu also, his anger is not going. He's breathing in that anger, and people thought that he may destroy the whole world also. He was so angry. You know why Bhagavan was so angry? Because if anybody does any harm to the Bhakta, Bhagavan is very angry on them. And this Hiranyakashipu tried to kill Bhakta in so many ways. So, even after killing, he was so angry. Nobody is going near him. Devatas are not going anywhere. Then they tell Lakshmi ji, you go. You are his wife. He says, yes, he is my husband, but I have not seen this avatar any time. I don't want to go anywhere near him. Then they think, let us send Prahlad. And small boy eats. Prahladji happily he goes, he has no fear. He goes in front of Bhagavan, and there's a beautiful Prahladaji stuti is there in Bhagavatam. So amazing stuti. So he goes and he's standing there singing glory of Bhagavan, and slowly Bhagavan becomes peaceful. Not because of stuti, because he saw his dearest devotee, Prahlad, in front of him, and he took him, placed him on his lap, and he was stroking his head. And you know what Bhagavan did? He was seeing every limb of Prahlad. Hands, feet, face. He's seeing. And what is he seeing? That I hope you have not got hurt, injured, because this Hiranyakashipu tried so many ways to kill him. And Bhagavan saw all that. Then Bhagavan said, I am very pleased with you. Ask whatever you want. Just imagine if Bhagavan asks you, ask what you want. What will you ask Bhagavan? Think. Today you have an opportunity. After this satsang is over, 2 things you have to do, okay? We will go to the fire then. We are going to light a fire. In that you have to chant Om Namo Narayanaya 3 times and offer when chit is given to you, you have to write one negative quality. Drop one negative quality which makes you an asura. Drop that. And pray to that fire, pray to Bhagavan Vishnu, asking him that one thing that you want. Okay, so you keep in mind, if Bhagavan asks you what you want, what is your desire? So when he asked Prahladji started thinking, do I really want something? Bhagavan asking me, that means there is some desire in my heart. He saw deep down and he said to Bhagavan, if I am asking you something, then it is barter. I have loved you for the sake of love. I don't want anything. I have not loved you because I want something. Do you love your parents because they give you food, they give you clothes, they give you money, they give you education, or you love them because it is natural? Is inborn love for the parent? Like that, he said, I love you for your sake, Bhagavan. I don't want anything. Bhagavan said, but I want to give you something. You ask. So he says, Bhagavan, if you want to give me something, please give me the boon that no desire should rise in my heart. Which means what? See, whenever some desire arises, then our mind goes out, we forget Bhagavan, we want to indulge in the world outside. He says, I should always remember you only. No desire should rise in my heart. So Bhagavan said, Tathastu. Means Bhagavan's Maya will not touch Prahladji. He blesses Prahladji. And he tells Prahladji that you are such a great devotee, you are desireless, you have so much faith. You should be the one who should guide all the asuras. So you should now become the king. So what does Bhagavan do? See that throne on which Hiranyakashipu was sitting, Bhagavan first goes and sits on that throne, and then he takes Prahladji and he makes him sit there. Now it has become divine, sacred. And he says, now it is prasad. So he says, now you become the king. Bhagavan does his Rajya Abhishek, makes him the king of Asuras, and he says, you will be the greatest king of all the Asuras. And amongst all the devotees, Prahladji's name is taken first. Among all Ananya Bhaktas, Prahladji's name is first. Then Prahladji suddenly said, Bhagavan, I have one boon to ask. He wants something? He said, yes, Bhagavan, I want to ask something. Bhagwan didn't say, I told you to ask that time, you didn't ask, now bull over. Bhagwan said, yes, ask what you want. And do you know what Prahladaji asked? He said, my father, he made you his enemy, he cursed you, he abused you, he fought with you. That's a very wrong thing that he did. Please don't be unhappy with him. Please forgive him and please give him Sadgati. See what he asked. That father who tried to kill him, what did Prahladaji ask? He said, Bhagwan, you forgive him. This is a good quality that one should have of compassion, of forgiveness. You know, today when we play Holi, one of the beautiful aspects of Holi is this. Suppose you don't like somebody, they have done something to hurt you. You forgive them today. Cleanse your heart, forgive them, go and embrace them, play with colors and put the past behind and look ahead. Okay, that is what we do for Holi. So, when all this happened, Prahladji, he bowed down to Bhagwan and Bhagwan also blessed him and Bhagwan then went. Bolo Narsimha Bhagwan ki, Bolo Ananya Bhakta Prahlad ji ki. So this is how we celebrate Holi, remembering the glory of Bhagwan, remembering the glory of Bhakta and remembering the glory of Bhakti. Bhakta, Bhakti and Bhagwan. Holi is a celebration of all the three. Bolo Sadgurunath Maharaj ki.
Hariom. Hariom everyone. And all people loudly Hariom. Very backwards. Bhagwan Narayana able to get you. Very good. Very good. Now Bhagwan has heard you. Bhagwan is looking at all of you. Okay? See, different festivals we celebrate for different purposes. We know Ram Navami is celebrated for what? Ram Navami. Bharata. Very good. Janmashtami, Sri Krishna Janmashtami.
Get those pamphlets, I have to announce about.
The pamphlets. Diwali, Diwali.
Mastak Abhishek pamphlet.
Diwali, when Bhagavan Sri Rama returned back to Ayodhya. See, some festivals are celebrating for the birth of avatar or arrival of Bhagavan. Some festivals we celebrate for and an incident. Bhagavan Rama came back to Ayodhya. Right? Now there is also one more incident. Bhagavan Sri Krishna killing Narakasura. You see, this is remembrance of an incident. Now do you know Holi is celebrated? Holi, what's what we celebrate? Give your little thought. Just don't answer. Think, Holi. Okay. You see, God is this whole world, correct? You all know, suppose I ask, where is God? What do you say? God is everywhere. God is everywhere means what? God is everywhere. Everywhere. So God is everywhere means God is everywhere. Yes. God is there in the whole earth. Yes. And we see the special manifestation of God, that everything becomes fresh, bright, beautiful. Then immediately also we can see God. Right? Do you know that the earth becomes fresh, green, beautiful, filled with color? Then the spring arrives.
That's it. Oh.
And when spring arrives, what happens to all the flowers? They all bloom. They all open. How much do they open? Like this open? Like fully open, right? And then we see beauty everywhere. Meaning, we see God everywhere. Holi is a festival we celebrate to see God everywhere in His beauty as flowers, in His beauty as greenery, in His beauty as the blue skies, in His beauty as the full moon. Beauty, 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 beauty everywhere. And all of us also are God's beauty. Right? One was down here and Asura's beauty. All of us are also God's beauty. And if we are all God's beauty, how we should be? Happy. Yes. Why? God is all happiness. And when you say, I should express God's happiness, I should express God's beauty, happiness. Happiness means happiness only for yourself. Happiness for everyone. How do you make your brother happy? How do you make your sister happy?
You have done something.
By taking away whatever your brother has, no? We give you. Right? We share. How do you make your mother happy? By listening to you. By listening to you. By making your mother listen to you. Correct? By listening to your mother. He helped your mother. Very good. So Holi is a day we remember God's beauty everywhere and God's beauty expressing in us, God's beauty in the world of nature, and you see that beauty everywhere. And that's why we play also with colors. Right? God is expressing God's meaning these colors. Right? So Holi is a celebration of God becoming available to us as spring. Okay? Do you know about that? Holi is a festival of colors. God has various colors. And Holi is to remember that we are also flowers of God. Does a rose flower want to become a lotus flower? No. Does a jasmine flower want to become a rose flower? No. What does a rose flower become? Rose. Jasmine flower? Jasmine. Lotus flower? Lotus. So also you should try to become yourself. Not looking at other person who like this, I don't have this, I don't have that. Don't worry about that. You be the best version of yourself. That is your celebration of. You listen to Swamiji, right? Swamiji was telling you about the story of Prahlad, right? How Prahlad manifested all the goodness of Bhagavan by being Bhakta. We also remain Bhaktas of Bhagavan and manifest those goodness. Now, shall I ask you some question on what I said? Holi is a celebration of what? Colors, okay. Holi is a celebration of God manifesting as nature. God manifesting as beauty. God manifesting as freshness. God manifesting as happiness. And therefore, since God is everywhere, we also should manifest what? God's happiness. Okay? I will read out also for you the message which Swami Swarupanandaji. You know who Swami Swarupanandaji? Who is Swami Swarupanandaji? Yes. Who is Swami Swarupanandaji? Is the head of the mission and our Guru. Right? So Swami has said one message for all of us everywhere around the world. Shall I read out that message for you? And see if you can see the beauty of this wonderful message. Like Prahlada, will you please repeat after me? Like Prahlada, let us fearlessly sit in the fire of knowledge with devotion and faith in the one who reduces our ego to ashes and thus make our life vibrant with the colors of joy One more time, I read the whole thing. You will say, like this time, I'm going to say the word to this. Okay? Like brother, let us fearlessly sit in the fire of knowledge with devotion and faith in the one who reduces our ego to ashes and thus makes our life vibrant with the colors of joy and harmony. Bole Bhagavan ki. Now we are sitting in Lord Jaganeshwara's place, right? There's one more incident also where Holi Holi being about her. Holi is the day, but for that I will tell you a story. Very short only I am going to tell you, okay? Lord Shiva was deep in meditation. Can you see Lord Shiva there? How is he sitting? Meditation, right? But he's smiling there, right? He was also not smiling there. Deep meditation. All the devas were wondering, my God, Lord Shiva is meditating. And Lord Shiva is not looking at us. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation, not even thinking of anything of the world. Lord Shiva, like that, when he was very meditative, then who will take care of so many things in the world? All the devas were looking, my God, too much, too long. Not good, not good. Lord Shiva, come back, come back. There's a lot of work to do. At the time of the Asura, name was Tarakasura. What was the name of the Asura? Tarakasura. And he was creating a lot of problems in the world. So he was telling you, go and kill this person, go and kill those cows, go and kill one Brahmana, go and all kinds of nonsense were happening. And he was very, very powerful. Goddess Parvati also did a lot of problems to marry Lord Shiva. But Lord Shiva was Parvati was all the days was looking at Lord Shiva. Brahmaji was looking. Bhagavan Vishnu also, he got up from his Sheshashayi, he got up. So, it was not looking very good for the world. And Asuras were happy. Well, that's very very good. Then you know what happened? They went and told Indra take us no. He went and told Kamadeva, goddess of love. Are you getting married? No. And the Tarakasura can be killed only to the child of Lord Shiva, but she was in meditation. And Indra went and told Kamadeva, go, make meditation. Kamadeva took his hand and shot an arrow directly at Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva was deep in meditation. And when the arrow struck him, he said, who's disturbing my meditation? And he opened. Third eye opened. And that eye fell on this fellow, Kamadeva, this hiding his shooting arrow. Lord Shiva looked at him. The world to ashes. Because now he has no body, Kamadeva. Therefore, Kamadeva is called as Ananga. Ananga. Anga is body, Anga is limbs. Lord Shiva pointing for Ananga. The one who can burn the whole karma by his mere look, Lord Shiva. But now his meditation, he got up and then go back out of the meeting, and then come married. He got married, lots of things. But Kamadeva's wife, anyone knows Kamadeva's wife's name? Rati, yeah, you are good hand for it. You are very happy. So Rati, Kamadeva's wife Rati, her husband is not seen. So she went and did prayers to Lord Shiva. 40 days of prayers to Lord Shiva. Please bring back my husband. Please bring back my husband. Please bring back my husband. My husband did not want me to do anything. Little mischief he did, but you should excuse him. And he did not go actually because he was not in mistake. He was able to 40 days of intense tapas. Who did tapas?
Rati.
Rati. And then when she did the intense tapas, Lord Shiva became pleased. Lord Shiva became very easily pleased. If you want anything good, okay, not bad. If you want anything good, you go and ask Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is fast. Okay? That's why he's called as what? Ashutosh. Ashutosh. Ashutosh is the physical desire. Right? So, Lord Shiva was very easily pleased. And then he blessed. Now you will appear back. So it is said that Kamadeva appeared back. Spring also came along with Kamadeva. The whole world became fresh and green. All the flowers also started opening like that. So on this day, spring came with Kamadeva. Do you want to know one more story of Holi? This has to do with Lord Krishna and Radha. Okay? Very interesting, cute little sweet story. Lord Krishna was telling Yashoda, you see, what I will give you. Very good. He's a good man. So, excellent. See that? Bhagavan Krishna has got a dark complexion, right? Neela Vega Shyama. Neela Vega Shyama. Right? Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva, Bhagavan Krishna. So Bhagavan Krishna went to his mother, Yashoda, Maya. What do you want always? What do you want? You want butter? No, I want butter. Milk you want? No. Curd you want? No. You want to go on plain careful? No. You want to go with the cows? No. Cows are not good. No. Please listen to what I want to say. I want to go and play with Radha, my friend. So, go play. No, I don't know whether she likes me. Huh? What do you mean by that? Everyone likes me. No. What is your problem? See, I am dark in complexion. She is fair. I do not know whether she likes me. What a foolish question. Yashoda said, okay. You go to her and ask her to paint your face in whatever color she wants. Go. And it is said that she painted her with the colors of love, the deep love she had for her. It is said from that day onwards, we celebrate by painting each of our faces, our bodies, and with whatever colors others want in our face. Right? And we also express our love to them by whatever colors. Right? See, remember, in all these stories, one thing common is there. Wanting to make others happy. That is true gift. That is a true expression of God from us, through us. Remember, in our Chandya Mission collection, they write very beautifully. His grace and blessings flow through us, to the world around us. That is the actual thing. Today we are all assembled here, this most sacred place. Swamiji said, related to us a lovely story of Dr. Prahlad and all. And we had time to think about Bhagavan. His grace and blessings flow to us, always to the world around us. Wish you all a very, very happy, delightful, joyful home. Okay? And today we worship Bhagavan as a whole nature. Right? I'm very, very happy to organize such a lovely holy program, and all the brahmacharis are also participating. I'm sure they're also watching. I'm sure they're also learning. I'm sure they're also growing.